Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this review. My name is Jody from Reflective Waves Holistic Wellness, and welcome to my review. These videos are dedicated to reviewing certain yoga practices that I find on YouTube and, of course, other platforms. And the reason for these reviews is just to get an overall picture of the practice, maybe a little bit of the instructor and the type of atmosphere that they provide during their wellness practices or yoga videos. So, the intention behind these reviews is to see if my clients would enjoy them. I'm a 200-hour certified teacher. I have my own practice, my own clients, and I just wanted to see what was out there and see if it made sense for my students to practice these practices that are readily available. Today I'm going to be doing a quick review, and the reason I say quick is because this is a 10-minute morning yoga stretch with minimal cues by Sarah Beth Yoga. So normally when we think about coming to a yoga studio or doing a yoga class, we think of like an hour and a half. Sometimes that's just not practical, especially if you're a busy parent, caregiver, educator. You're running from task to task, picking up the kids, working with others. Sometimes it can be extremely depleting just to try to get to the mat. So I wanted to see what else was out there for quick, short, and then holistic practices that would make sense for my clients. And I found this one doing a quick yoga search on YouTube. So really happy that that was there and that there is some accessibility in different practices of varying lengths. Before we delve into the review, let me just catch you up on some things that have been going on with my studio. I have recently just started this brand new partnership with Unbroken Acres to do yoga at the farm. And I am so excited for this. You have no idea. This lady, her name is Anna. She's amazing. She's the owner. She has a little farm stand. So Rob and I like nothing more than to support local and to provide something for our neighbors. We're constantly involved. We're involved in the ambulance corps, the Lake Association. He's a firefighter up at the volunteer firehouse. And I do so much work for the community, including providing donation-based yoga classes. When we stopped by the farm stand, Anna was actually there, the owner, and so we got to talking about all the different things that I offer and that we offer collectively, and she is just the sweetest thing. She showed us the whole farm. It's super cool. She grows everything from sunflowers to tomatoes. She has a hydroponic section, and then she has just this beautiful property that I think is going to be tremendous for my students to practice at. So if you're in my area up in Coshecton, upstate New York, and you want to pop by Unbroken Acres, we're hoping to get that schedule set up very soon as the weather permits. So that is something that I am really looking forward to. All right, so why don't we talk a little bit about this practice? And again, I'm a 200-hour certified yoga teacher, and the lens of which I will be looking at this practice as I'm doing it and reviewing it is through, would this make sense for my clients? Would it make sense for caregivers, teachers, and educators who are so busy giving and giving and giving to others that we need to refill our cup so that it overflows, so that we can provide off the overflow? Does that make sense for them? So we're going to get right into it.
Meet me in hero, sitting on your shins, and begin by just pulling your left fingers back. You should feel a stretch in your left forearm as you do so. This practice today will have minimal cues, meaning that I will cue only the pose. But you're here. You're ready for this challenge. Now switch hands. I will not cue breath. I will not cue variations. That is up to you. This is the time for you to use your practice. Within this practice, you can do it. Release your hands, shake it out, roll it out. Meet me in extended child's pose to ground down.
Okay, so I love the idea of just cueing postures with a little bit of advice as you go along, because it helps to really access your practice, what you've been working on in various classes. Is it beginner friendly? Sort of, kind of. I wouldn't do it for my first class ever. But what I really like about it is that it gives you ample time to just turn your thoughts off so that you are focusing on the present moment and only the present moment and what you are experiencing within your practice. So that was really lovely. And I actually practice with minimal cues when I practice for myself. I don't like a lot of breaking down the postures. I do it for my clients because it's important for them. They really appreciate having everything kind of broken down. But every once in a while, I kind of draw that back. I kind of pull back on my cues and express what I need to express just simply. And if we need to tweak from there, I'll get up off of my mat, I'll walk around, and I'll make sure that we're being safe and we're listening to our body. For a quick 10-minute stretch, this seemed very appropriate.
Come forward to set up your half pigeon. Cross your left knee behind your right and then slide back, finding the same variation that you took on the other side.
I loved this part. I love this part. You got to choose what you wanted to do, and she gave you 1, 2, and 3 different options. I thought this was spectacular, minimal cueing, but a lot of visual aids to help, and I really appreciated that. I thought that was expertly done, that vein of teaching that I truly appreciate because it makes it more accessible for all.
And we'll hold the next round of poses for a couple of breaths. So find the breath that keeps you calm and grounded. Find halfway lift. And instead of freezing into place, feel free to play with different variations of poses. Explore your body.
I absolutely loved this way of cueing. Instead of freezing into place, find and explore what works for you. And that is an extremely freeing statement, and it's a very freeing expression, which I can see really helping, especially if you are really helping with any mental load, because you're just in the moment, exploring the body, exploring what sensations arise. And I did find that particular cue to be, I did find that particular cue to be very helpful.
Come back to center for full wind pose. Then release into Shavasana. Relax.
Yeah, and that was pretty much it. It was a very quick 10-minute practice. And when I say quick, I don't mean that we were sweating, right? There wasn't a whole lot of movement. It was really a beautifully sequenced tapping into your own body, your own breath, but definitely for more advanced students and practitioners. The Shavasana was substantial. It was, I want to say, about a minute or so out of a 10-minute practice, which can be very helpful. I wasn't able to shut my brain off as I am normally. Maybe it was the duration, it was just too short. Where this particular practice would be extremely helpful for caregivers, educators, parents, and those who are constantly giving is in transitions. So instead of maybe, changing out of your clothes and going right into your yoga clothes and your yoga pants, maybe you're doing this before something, before you go to bed or before you hit the gym, or maybe you do it maybe after you are done playing at the playground with your kids or after work. It's just something that you would build into your routine. It's 10 minutes long. You take your time. There's minimal cueing, so you're able to really just sink down and kind of release distraction. Even the piano was super chill and there really wasn't much to it as far as like stimulus. So in that respect, I think this practice would be very helpful, and I'd be interested to see if there are more like it on YouTube that are just short, sequenced, and accessible to those who need it the most, which are those carrying a lot of. With that being said, I would suggest this to my clients. I think that for those just entering the practice, it's probably one that you'd want to do after like a few weeks of constant practicing so that you knew what the actual breath prompts would be or what it would feel like to be in those poses and safe in those postures. This was very mild, and The only thing I would have brought in was some blocks and just to know where to use those blocks when it made sense. And then just this freeing idea that you don't have to look exactly like the teacher at all times. That's not necessary. And in fact, I don't encourage it at all. Please look like you need to look for your body because every single person is different. And to kind of wrap it all up, yes, this was a great practice, especially for transitions in your life. So maybe you're going from one activity to the next and you just need to decompress. It was nice in the fact that we weren't building up a lot of heat in the body, we weren't losing our breath. And that was helpful, I think, because when you're stressed, you don't really need more stress on top of that. And so that can be really helpful to just arrive at a practice that is short and accessible and just helps you tap into your body. So yeah, really nice review, great practice. I look forward to seeing more. If you have any yoga classes or wellness activities that you'd like me to review, I'd love to hear from you. I'm making this as accessible and available as possible to those of you who need it the most. So please leave a comment down below and I will absolutely get back to you and hopefully make a video out of your review that you suggest. If you enjoyed this review, please like this video and of course subscribe to my channel for a ton of different content all about how to find rest and relaxation and use those techniques in your daily life if you're a parent, caregiver, or educator. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a warm and wonderful rest of your day.